After two impressive wins by the Post 6 Sixers yesterday over the Parker, Colorado Lightning and the Catalyst Cardinals, also of Colorado, the Sixers today will host the Rocky Mountain Oysters at Powers Field, Day 2 of the Firecracker Invitational Tournament. Post 6 Baseball on 1480K brought to you by our fine sports sponsors. Once again, we send it out to Powers Field at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. Baseball action with the Post 6 Sixers looking to go 3-0 in pool play as they entertain the Rocky Mountain Oysters. To bring us all the exciting calls, let's check in with our own Caleb Burgraff right here, right now on 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
And a good afternoon, welcoming you out to Powers Field on 1480K Ray. I'm Caleb Burgraff as the Sixers, they look to try and celebrate the 4th of July here with a nightcap against the Rocky Mountain Oysters. And as you heard there in the intro, looking to move to 3-0 in pool play and pick up their 35th win of the season. Yesterday, a couple of impressive victories for them here in this wood bat tournament. They got the Parker Lightning 12-3 to kick things off, ended up having a 4-run first inning to explode in an 8-run I believe third inning that really got things going for the Sixers in that one. Capped it off 12-3 with the 8-run rule victory. Again, wood bat tournament, so not 10-run rules, but 8-run rules here at Powers Field this weekend. The Catalyst ended up jumping out to an early lead on the Sixers. They were up 4-0 after the top of the third inning, but how about a 13-2 closeout to that one by Post 6, including another 7 spot that they put up in the bottom of the 6th inning in order to almost run rule that one, but take down the Catalyst Cardinals and pretty much almost guarantee themselves a spot into Sunday's bracket play. Got to finish in the top 2 of your 2 pools. Games against the Oysters and the Casper Oilers tonight, and tomorrow night will close out pool play for Post 6. As Sixers baseball being presented by some wonderful sponsors: Affordable Computer Repair, the Breadbasket Bakery, Kia of Cheyenne, Capital Lumber Company, Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Frontier Days, Holidays Subaru, Cheyenne's Depot Museum, Wyoming's Department of Transportation, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, 2 doors down, Burns Insurance Agency, First Tier Bank, the Gill Window Company, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Jason Gilbert, your All-State Insurance Agent, Rock on Wheels, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Platte Valley Bank, the Coin Shop, and of course Pepsi of Cheyenne, bringing you our scoreboard all throughout the day. And the Sixers looking to try and keep the success going against the Oysters, who enter the game at just 2-8 on the season. They dropped their first 2 games here at the Firecracker Invitational. Lost to the Hawks over at Pioneer Park yesterday, 9-1, as the Hawks were able to walk them off with a 4 spot in the bottom of the 5th inning. And then Parker ended up getting them just before our contest this afternoon, as they got a 6-5 win, a 4 spot in the bottom of the 5th, answered with a 4 spot in the top of the 6th, kept the Oysters in it, but they ended up faltering late in that game as the Oysters end up dropping their 8th game of the season, and they're 0-2 in pool play. So there is a lot to be decided from the Oysters in terms of if they're trying to keep on going. If they can get a win in this one and then they can somehow take down Casper in their final game, they would give themselves a shot. But they're 0-2 right now in pool play and finding themselves in a very, very difficult spot to try and come back from. And I apologize, it'll be Collins who the Oysters will have to still play off against, not against Casper. So with that, a look at the interview in our pregame show. We'll sit down and talk with Brad Barker, the head man in charge of the Sixers. He's not necessarily managing today, as he's still sitting out the final game of his 3-game suspension, but he will be chatting with us a little bit about what to expect and how exactly the Sixers played yesterday, which was very, very impressive on the field in some bounce-back games. That's all coming up back in 2 minutes. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Hi, this is Larry Perlotti talking about Affordable Computer Repair. Lanny at Affordable Computer Repair in Cheyenne reminds you whenever your personal computer, laptop, or iPad is not performing to your standards, then it's time to call Affordable Computer Repair in Cheyenne at 307-256-8971 and let Lanny's many years of experience fix or address the problems that may exist. Also, watch out for those bad elements out there to harm your computer. Affordable Computer Repair is the perfect choice to consult you on the proper maintenance for your systems. Remember, it's Affordable Computer Repair in Cheyenne. Please call 256-8971.
If you're looking for a quick breakfast or lunch, you're looking for the Bread Basket. If you're busy and can't take time out for a healthy breakfast, stop in and try one of our breakfast burritos loaded with potatoes, eggs, cheese, bacon, and our homemade green chili wrapped in a 12-inch flour tortilla. Or, for a fast lunch, try our delicious cabbage burgers, hamburger, onions, and cabbage wrapped in bread dough and baked to a golden brown. Treat yourself to a fast breakfast or lunch today at the Bread Basket Bakery and Sandwich Shop, 1819 Maxwell Avenue, Cheyenne's hometown bakery. Wrapped in bread dough and baked to a golden brown. Treat yourself to a fast breakfast or lunch today at the Bread Basket Bakery and Sandwich Shop, 1819 Maxwell Avenue, Cheyenne's hometown bakery.
For 20 years, our customers have always come first. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and it's a great time to check out the new 2025 Kia Sorento. Powerful, polished, and ready for adventure. The 2025 Kia Sorento delivers numerous available features like 24-inch combined panoramic displays, heated front and second row captain's chairs, charging ports in all 3 rows, and much more. Kia just keeps adding value for the money. Come by Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123, or go to kiaofcheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event going on now.
With Brad Barker. And Coach, it wasn't you necessarily calling the shots on the sidelines yesterday as you're working through that suspension, but Gary Harley and the staff really did a good job managing this way to 2 wins yesterday.
Yeah, Gary has all my faith, and he executed a good game plan yesterday with small balling them a little bit, and got our guys ready. I thought he handled the pitching really well yesterday, and he's a seasoned veteran, so I expect nothing less.
You guys talk about the execution and the small ball in particular. It's one thing to call those plays and know that if it is executed, that there's a hole there for that team. But this is a team that's been slowly improving on their ability to execute that small ball stuff when it's been called on to do.
Yeah, it's been a focus of ours, especially after some failed executions up in Gillette. We got to take pride in being bunters and doing jobs. It creates a lot of chaos on the bags, and it really forces defenses to make pressure plays. And when we can do that with our speed, we have an advantage.
That was something else that I noticed in the games yesterday compared to the games on Tuesday in Gillette is there was a lot more pressure on the base paths that was being put on. I think you had 9 stolen bases against Parker in the first game and added a few more in that second game. Was that a decision by you guys as coaches, kind of following up with that small ball game plan?
Yeah, it's something that they know we have we trust them to make good decisions on the pass. It's not something we necessarily will always call for. They always pretty much are green lit, and it's something that they need to feel comfortable with. And I think after Gillette, they realize it's okay. We can make some outs on the base path as long as they're smart outs. And it's something we've instilled in them. I've instilled in them since I've had them even prior to this year. I trust you guys to make good decisions, and we've prepared for it. So it's good to see them put the pressure on the base pass and make defense make plays.
Flipping over to the pitching side of things, and talk a little bit about just the way that the team was able to recover and get Keans back after he ended up struggling a little bit against a Catalyst team that was really, you look up and down that lineup, it's a tough lineup to go against.
Yeah, they're a physical team, and their offensive prowess is definitely a plus. So, and it wasn't necessarily our best pitching day, but we were due. We pitched the ball very well over this last really 2 months, and it was time for our hitters to step up and really carry the water for them. And I know the pitchers appreciated that, got them out of some jams, and luckily I ended up with 2 dubs yesterday.
Talking a little bit about today's game, you get an Oysters team that's scuffling a little bit right now. Hawks got them 9-1 yesterday in a 5-run rule game or 5-inning game. Looks like Parker's handling them right now. Should be moving on at 6-2 in the game as we're looking at it. What do you expect from the Oysters? Even though they haven't necessarily played their best games in the first 2 they've had here, they're still a quality program.
Oh, absolutely. It's another very physical team. They have, some high-end players on this squad. Corey Williams is actually playing on this team, so I do anticipate to see him on the mound for them tonight. But, it's a team that, sometimes those Colorado teams, when they come together, they don't practice a lot. So they're still working through some kinks, I'm sure. But But at the end of the day, the Hawks played a really good game yesterday and beat a very quality team. And they're starting to hit their stride, which I expect them to. But back to the Oysters, I do expect them to throw everything they've got at us. They're in the night game. It's always special to come in and beat Post 6 on their yard. So I expect them to put up a very good game tonight.
Well, that's the last question I had for you. You mentioned that this is your yard and you guys are a premier program. Teams, when they come up to this tournament, save their number ones for you guys a lot of times. Is that kind of nice that the kids can prepare for the top level every single time and there's no, I wonder who we're going to get? It's kind of, okay, we're going to get their best punch.
Yeah, they are so prepared for that every time they step on the diamond. It doesn't matter where we are. To see over the years is beating Post 6 is special to a lot of people. So they're going to throw everything they've got at us. And, it being a night game tonight and kind of the premier game of the weekend, I expect nothing less.
Coach, happy 4th of July to you. Hopefully we're celebrating with some fireworks both on the diamond and off afterwards and wrapping it up.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks, Caleb.
Coach, appreciate the time. We'll take a step aside back in 2 minutes here on 1480 K-Ray.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Serving Cheyenne in the area since 1965, Capital Lumber Company is still the place for all your lumber and hardware needs. Whether you do it yourself or have it done professionally, get all the tools, paints, fixtures, and accessories for every part of your home today at family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne, celebrating 60 years in business.
From your head to your toes, we're here to keep you moving. With consultation, treatment, and rehabilitation all in one location, it's easier than ever to get the level of care you deserve. Cheyenne Regional, we inspire great health.
Starting lineups getting announced here at Powers Field as we get set for action between the Sixers and the Oysters. Quickly take a look at the pitching matchups today, and it is an interesting one for sure. Zach Hall on the mound for Post 6. We know about him. He is definitely a very strong arm for this team, has become really their number 3, and at a young age has a really potential to do some big things with the program. He's going against a former Sixer himself. Corey Williams will be on the bump for the Rocky Mountain Oysters when we come back. But for right now, we are going to be stepping aside as we've got National Anthem coming up here at Powers Field. And the first pitch will be coming up just on the other side of that. So with all of that said, let's step aside. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. You are listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange serves up breakfast, lunch, and dinner each Monday through Saturday. And at Chick-fil-A, they don't have to stray from their menu. They're proud of what they do all the time. Chicken. Check them out online at CheyenneChicken.com and have them cater your next event. Use the convenient drive-thrus. Come inside or use the Chick-fil-A app to do your next order. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange.
In the last week of July, you'll find the superstars of rodeo at Cheyenne Frontier Days. The world's top cowboys, cowgirls, buck and broncs, and toughest bulls. Grab your hat, pull on your boots, and join in the Cowboys' favorite rodeo. Rodeo tickets on sale now. Cheyenne Frontier Days.
During the month of June, as part of the Subaru Loves to Care initiative, Holiday Subaru is partnering with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to provide warm blankets and messages of hope, written by our staff and customers, to support patients facing cancer.
To learn more about what Holiday Subaru is doing for patients and their families in our community, visit HolidaySubaru.com.
The players return to the field. Up to bat are the Warriors. First up, number 7. There's the pitch. It's a hit. Good for a single. Next, number 18. He swings. Line drive to center field. 15 steps up. Another hit. Bases loaded now as number 40 approaches the plate. It's headed for the fence. Grand slam, the Warriors win the game. Make it home safe. Buckle up, every passenger, every trip, every time.
Powers Field, Caleb Burgraff here on 1480K Ray as we get set for action. First pitch on the way as the Rocky Mountain Oysters will be trying to hand the Cheyenne Sixers their first loss of the Firecracker Invitational. Sixers looking to keep the Oysters down on the mat right now as they sit at 0-2. The lineup for the Sixers in the field behind Zach Hall on the mound looks like this. Over at first base, Landon McAnally. Second base, Colin Crecilius. Third base, Kyler Hoff. And at short is Cade Coates. Braden Camerad doing the catching behind home plate. Wraps up the infield. In the outfield from left to right, Broden Robbins, Nolan Horton, and Braden Pearson will round out the order there. Asher Newland doing the DHing today for the Sixers. For the Rocky Mountain Oysters, George Roberts leads things off in center field. Jack Reed at short. James Bivens at first base. John Luke Houston is going to be at third base. Wyatt Murray and left field. Corey Williams will be in doing the DHing and the pitching in the sixth spot. Max Olivas is doing the catching. Mason McCormick in right field. And Julian Perez is playing second base in the order for the Oysters. Out on the mound, we mentioned it, Zach Hall, tall right-hander for the Sixers, who has had a very impressive season so far for Post 6 this year. They are definitely a team that is on the rise, or he is definitely a player that's on the rise in terms of the coaching staff and what they're expecting from him as the season continues to roll along. Right-hander will be facing off against a few righties to get things going as the numbers for Hall, 36 2/3 innings in 9 starts, 12 total games that he's had. He's got a 5-3 win-loss record. He's given up 36 hits, 20 earned runs. He has struck out 20, pitches more to contact than he does to get the punch outs, has a 3.81 earned run average, gives up about 1.5 hits and walks, or base runners I should say, per game, and has had 16 stolen bases taken against him. That's second on the team in terms of that number. So if you get on base, he's working on trying to build up and improve his abilities in keeping the base runners managed out there on the field as he'll step out and face off against George Roberts, who's batting .235 on the season, playing center field for the Oysters. They've only played 10 games so far this year, so some of these averages might be a little bit misleading for some of these players, and it's one of those teams that's kind of pieced together by players that are available through the area and even outside of the area. As you see Corey Williams on the roster for this team as a local prospect. And as they kind of piece these things together, they can always kind of be those upset-minded teams when they step out onto the field because they do have talent, and it can all come together at the best time. First pitch of the game comes across and is rounded foul. George Roberts, the center fielder, gets things going. 5:33 first pitch for this one. Beautiful day here for the 4th of July. A little bit cooler as we've had partly cloudy skies making their way through the area most of the day. Had some little showers as this ball popped up towards the first base dugout. Long run over and just off of the rooftop. It evades the area where McAnally was camped out waiting to get underneath it. Count goes to 0-2. Overcast skies definitely made it for a much cooler day than it was yesterday. Temperatures were brushing up toward 90 yesterday. Saw the ball carrying a lot because of that. In the wood bat tournament, we saw a lot of loud fly balls. Today, can expect more of the same. Still up at 80 degrees. Real feel sitting at 78. Wind out of the west at about 15 miles an hour as this ball chased foul. And George Roberts stays alive on the 0-2. Yesterday, the wind was blowing out to left field. This time, if anything, out to right field, but it's going to take the late swings from those right-handed batters and push them away from the right fielder. A little bit more humidity today, which is why I've got some potential for some rainstorms coming through as well. In fact, possibly about 45 minutes out from a scattering of showers. This ball lifted into right field. Dropping back, Braden Pearson puts up the glove and puts it away. That ball had some authority behind it, but handled easily by Pearson out and right. Jack Reed will step up with one away in the top of the first inning. No score on the Pepsi scoreboard. Jack Reed, I apologize, batting .150 on the season, playing shortstop for the Oysters. Where's number 9 in the gold uniform tops, white pants. for the Oysters. Got the black ball caps on the top as well. Sixers wearing the red caps with the 6 across the front and the blue brims. The first pitch fouled off by Jack Reed. Hall yet to miss the strike zone through his first 5 pitches of this one. Blue uniform tops, the navy blues. Sixers across the front. Got the American Legion patch on the left shoulder and red numbers outlined in white. This ball grounded towards short. Coates backhands deep in the hole. Long throw across the diamond. Stretched and keeping his toe nailed to the bag. McAnally finishes the play. Sixers get this second out on quite a gem on both sides of that one. That's about the longest throw you can find on the diamond, and Coates handled it well. James Bivens will step to the plate. 111 on the season. Limited at-bats, obviously. Just 9 plate appearances so far. He's playing first base for the Oysters today. Another right-handed batter. And he will take a pitch inside that misses as the count goes to 1-0 in favor of the offensive player. Hall working quickly from that first base side as that characteristic long kind of drag of the toe along the rubber before he gets himself set. Kind of more of a, when I think about it, more of kind of a 60s and 70s, 80s pitching kind of delivery than you see from a lot of current pitchers. Kind of has a little bit of a, can't think it was Lincecum that had that kind of long drag, but a few players that have definitely had that kind of more deliberate, kind of stretched out, time it out type of release. As he misses with all 4 though to James Bivens, and the count goes on a fresh one to John Luke Houston. Third baseman, batting .357, gets an extra opportunity in this inning, is able to extend it with the 4-pitch walk. Bivens, not a lot of games, obviously, with trips onto the base paths, but not a whole lot of stolen bases for the first baseman. This ball chopped out right in front of home plate. Hall waits for it on 2 bounces. Throws on to first. The out is recorded on 1 pitch, and an efficient inning for Zach Hall gets him through, as he only throws 11 pitches to get through the first 4 batters of this one, and the Sixers offense has a chance to get them out on top. 0-0 your score back in 60 seconds on 1480 K-Ray.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange serves up breakfast, lunch, and dinner each Monday through Saturday. And at Chick-fil-A, they don't have to stray from their menu. They're proud of what they do all the time. Chicken. Check them out online at CheyenneChicken.com and have them cater your next event. Use the convenient drive-thrus. Come inside or use the Chick-fil-A app to do your next order. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Delrange.
Knock it out of the park with your family dinner tonight and score a home run with Two Doors Down. Two Doors Down menu selections are perfect for the active family. From gourmet burgers served with bottomless fries to soups and salads to the all-new platters. Two Doors Down, where you can enjoy a great dinner and still be able to take your family out to the ball game. Two Doors Down, 118 East 17th Street. For full menu and specials, go to twodoorsdown.net. Two Doors Down, flipping great burgers since 2009.
Sixers trying to strike first in this one, as they will send up Coates, Robbins, and Horton to lead things off. McAnally, Crecelius, and Camrad, Newland, Pearson, and Hoff will close out the order against the Rocky Mountain Oysters. And Corey Williams, who steps up onto the mound, first chance for him to pitch this season in an American Legion game, as he is kind of a spotter. He's only had 1 game this season. That was yesterday for the Oysters, or the earlier game, I should say, for the Oysters, as he's had to kind of step in and fill a little bit, but gets a chance to pitch against his former club in the Sixers, as we will see what he can bring it to the table for this roster. I do notice the catcher is wearing a different uniform top than the rest of the team for the Oysters, so that is, again, typical to the teams that are kind of trying to scramble things together, and he must have forgotten the uniform that he was supposed to be bringing up to this one. Coates leads things off, 361 hitter, 51 runs scored on the season. That's tops on the program for the Sixers. He's grown comfortable in that leadoff spot for post 6 this season. Also has worked in the number 2 spot consistently this year. Has a good bat. Good speed, though. That's what really does a lot of the damage. Not a lot of extra base hits for him. Only 7 of them on the season so far. But a lot of them end up turning into doubles just because of the wheels that he's got underneath him. He'll slap this one over to right field, and one pitch, he's already off onto the base paths as Coates gets things off to a strong start for the Sixers. Leadoff single and a runner on with nobody out. Broden Robbins will step to the plate. .318 batting average this season for Robbins, playing in left field today, and he has been very effective the last 4 or 5 games for the Sixers. Going all the way back to Gillette, had some strong innings of work on the mound and his pitching side of things, but also has been hitting the ball with effectiveness, with regularity so far. Coming from that left-handed spot, seen himself moved up in the batting order to the number 2 spot today. He's normally batting down in the 5 or 6 holes for the Sixers. Cressilius kind of been swapped out with Robbins in their spots in the order as Broden Robbins puts down a bunt. This one's a nice one, showing his speed down the line. He's going to get beaten out, but the sacrifice bunt is successful as up to second base goes Cade Coates. That was a well-placed bunt by Broden Robbins, just executed well by Corey Williams on the mound with the throw over to first. Brings Nolan Horton up to the plate. Horton batting .322 on the season. 34 RBIs. He's been kind of dancing around the 4 spot, the 3 spot, the 5 spot. He's been all over the order. He's even been in the leadoff spot a few times. This one of the reasons why he's got 44 runs. He's also one of those table setters for the Sixers this season. He's also added the ability to bring in runs as he takes the first pitch strike, and the count goes to 0-1 to the center fielder for post 6. Gary Harley for today's game as he is wrapping up his 3 games as the manager for them this week after the suspension to Brad Barker. Right-hander and Williams sets, working from the third base side, peeks back to the runner at second base and Coates, and then misses low and away. Nolan Horton gets back even in the count, 1-1. Clouds continuing to drift by as the wind definitely playing with things out there, but nowhere near something that's going to be making a massive impact in this game today. More of a factor yesterday in most of those games. This pitch slapped over to the big hole between first and second. Horton's going to get himself an RBI. As on his horse is Coates, and then the ball overran in right field. That allows Horton to move up to second base. It's a single and then an E9 to allow for him to move forward, and the Sixers already stake themselves to a 1-0 lead on the Pepsi scoreboard. Nolan Horton keeping up where he's left off. He's been on a little bit of a heater the last couple of games. McAnally, this is the real man who has been doing some damage. He's had multi-hit games, and I believe his last 4 games out onto the field. I know he's had at least 2 2-hit games and a 3-hit game in that time in the last 4 that they've been out there. Cracking a few extra base hits with it. He actually tied for the lead on the team with 18 extra base hits on the season. That's without any home runs. Finds more of the triples and doubles and gets himself into scoring position for his teammates with regularity as well. Left-handed batter ahead in the count, 1-0. Just under .380 on the season. He's touched .380 for quite a few of the games recently. Gets ahead in the count, 2-0 as Williams starting to struggle to find the zone, and that was after he started off. 3 of the first 4 pitches that he threw were in the strike zone. Now getting touched up a little bit. Starting to try and pick his way through the lineup a bit more. 2-0 pitch inside, just misses, and McAnally gets himself into a 3-0 count. One away here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 your score. 2 hits already for the Sixers. Some strong singles over to the right side, coming from their 2 right-handed batters. Williams can't find the zone against McAnally on any of the 4 pitches. Puts runners on first and second. Colin Cressilius will step to the plate. .292 the batting average for Cressilius this year. 29 runs, 21 RBIs for him on the season. Plays second base, third base for post 6. Also does a little bit of pitching for them. Kind of solidified himself as their number 2 pitcher. It's really good at inducing a lot of ground balls on the mound. And gets a nice bunt put down this time towards the left side, forked by Corey Williams. Ball to first base, not scooped on the hop. And as the ball bounces away, coming home to score is Nolan Horton as he rounded third, kept his eyes on what was happening with the play. Landon McAnally moves up to third on the play, and Crecilius on with the infield single. We'll see if they call that a single. That one could be called an error, but that was going to be close. They actually are going to call this one an error. So an E1 on the play as the ball was bounced up. No RBI for Crecilius as the run came around to score on the throw that was bobbled over at first. It's 2-0 though. Sixers on top. Runners onto the corners as well. Braden Camerad will stride to the box, and he cuts and misses at the first pitch. As the catcher, batting .253, came up with one of the most important hits of the game yesterday. That was the go-ahead single that pushed the Sixers up 5-4, and was part of their 6-run third inning. Really came through in the clutch in that one and trying to do so again. 17 RBIs this year for him. 12 runs scored. Down at the bottom of the order, he's been a regular in that 8 spot, moved up to the 6 spot today. Pickoff over to first base, easily back in time, was Colin Crecilius. Williams knows how quickly you can end up sending them with the Sixers squad out there on the field. Peek back to first as Williams comes set once again. This one bunted at as well, and Camerad sees that one tail off over the dugout, or towards the dugout off of the backstop. McDonough will come out and scoop up the ball as he heads back to the dugout. Looks like he's got ball boy duties today for the Sixers, at least for this inning. Williams ahead in the count, 0-2 on Braden Camerad, looking to get a second out in the bottom of the first inning. 2-0 score, Sixers on top. As the sun breaks out, Camerad spoils a pitch foul and stays alive on 0-2. Just dropped the bat head onto it, able to poke that one off to the right side. Keeps himself alive as checks down to Coach Harley for the signs. Sends him up there saying, hey, it's 0-2, just battle. Put up a fight. See if Crecilius decides to take off at any point in time in this as well. Is another good foul ball coming from Camerad. Count stays at 0-2. He'll see a 5th pitch. Everything's been in the zone. But right now, the pitch count about to be the 15th pitch with still only 1 out for Corey Williams out there on the mound. He's been in the strike zone, just the 1 walk, and he's only missed with 5 total pitches. Delivery taken low, good eye by Camerad, and a good job not getting stuck in swing mode. That was very close on the low outside corner, and Camerad obviously doing the catching for the Sixers. Good sense of the strike zone. Back behind home as he settles in again. Tight to the plate in that right-handed box. Square stance, takes upstairs. Back to 2-2, the count goes. Camerad doing just what you like to see from a bottom of the order guy, working the pitcher at the very least and frustrating him. Two-two pitch on the way. Just missed on that one. Williams wanted that one for sure. So did Maddox Olivas behind home plate. Home plate umpire said not good enough. We go full count. 8th pitch of the at-bat's going to be payoff. Camerad trying to just get on base right now. Fought all the way back from 0-2. Takes upstairs. That's ball 4. Crecilius slides in on a stolen base attempt and ends up being just a walk and a move up the base paths. 2 walks and an error in the last 3 batters, and the Sixers looking to try and make a loud statement here in the first inning against the Oysters. Asher Newland will step up to the plate, designated hitter, .279 hitter on the season. Third baseman also does some pitching for the Sixers. has 17 RBIs and 12 runs as well. It's actually kind of funny. Both he and Camerad both with the exact same RBIs and run tallies and batting back-to-back here in the order. As a pinch runner sent out to first base. As Camerad, that's a courtesy runner for him. Ball popped up to the right side. Bases loaded. This is not what you wanted to see. Infield fly rule in effect. And the pop-up by Asher Newland on the first pitch that he sees, a godsend right there to the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Away the courtesy runner Ryan Ruskinen over at first base for post 6. As Braden Pearson steps up to the plate, right fielder, chance to make a statement as well. Has got 27 RBIs this year, looking to drive in a few more. Right-handed batter, 16 extra base hits, batting over 300 this season. Takes a called strike. Kind of working through some dings and dents that you get over the course of the season so far, but the bat, not something that's been impacted by that this year. Spoils that one foul too. Also has 33 runs scored this season, as he was floating up at the top of the order as well. Early times. Kind of been a utility guy that's played everywhere for the Sixers in the lineup. Takes upstairs on 0-2. Good eye on the fastball by Williams. Tried to get him to chase. Stays alive as Corey. Up to 22 pitches now. I keep thinking on that one, but Williams again, first chance that he's had to pitch this summer. And he finds the inside corner on an off-speed pitch to get himself out of it. First strikeout of the game closes the first inning. Williams escapes a bases-loaded jam for the Rocky Mountain Oysters, and we make our way to the second inning in a 2-0 affair. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Wyoming owned and operated since 1971, Burns Insurance is Wyoming's right choice for your insurance needs. Burns Insurance is a trusted choice, full-service, independent insurance agency offering a full range of commercial, agricultural, and personal insurance products through many national and regional carriers. Let our friendly, experienced agents help you find the right product at the right price for your asset protection. Buy the policy, get the agent at Burns Insurance, your right choice. Find Burns Insurance on Facebook or at burnsia.com.
Sometimes you're anticipating it. Sometimes it's unexpected. Occasionally it's something small. But most of the time, it's a pretty big deal. It's your best day ever. And Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union is proud of the part we play in making each of them happen. Whether opening your first savings account or moving into your dream home, Meridian Trust is there for all your best days.
Welcome back out to Powers Field, where the Sixers jump out to a 2-0 lead over the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Runs from Coates and Horton after they both got a couple of singles. 2 hits, 1 error, 2 walks for the Sixers through the course of that inning. For the Oysters, they're sending up the bottom of their order. Wyatt Murray, Corey Williams, and Maddox Olivas, 5, 6, and 7. A scheduled 3, trying to find some way to dent Zach Hall, who did not give up any hits. Did see a walk reach base, but was very efficient in his first inning of work. Only threw 11 pitches through the first inning as he put up that 0. Misses with the first delivery to Murray, and the left fielder, who bats .278 on the season, gets himself ahead in the count. And then just takes one off the outside corner from Hall to move it to 2-0. Sixers did a really good job of managing their pitching staff yesterday. Almost everybody that pitched yesterday, and actually I think everybody that did pitch yesterday is going to be available for the weekend. There's some on Saturday, some for Sunday availability, but only gives them the chance of having a wide open listing for folks. Called strike. Gets Hall back into the zone on 3-1. As Murray taken all the way on that one. Just watch the get it over fastball sail by. Hall continuing to work quickly. Misses just inside on the fastball, and Murray gets the 5-pitch walk. Both base runners via the free pass so far. We mentioned it. That is something that Hall has had a tendency to give up. Nearly 20 walks this season in his 36 innings. Brings up Corey Williams, batting .500 on the season. Again, just one game, went 2 for 4 in that game. Takes a deep breath, DHing as well, and steps back into that left-handed box. Got to feel weird for him batting in that left-handed box here at this field in a different uniform. Takes the first pitch for a called strike from Hall. Got a little bit of a smattering of applause as it's announced that he was the Corey Williams of recognition here. Left-hander takes upstairs from Hall. Count goes to 1-1. Pitcher versus pitcher. Nobody away here in the top of the second inning. Shade cast over the field. And again, a very comfortable day here in Cheyenne. That one misses low. Williams definitely a legacy that he left here at post 6. Or a couple of people were talking that were kind of surprised. Didn't think that he had the year of eligibility available to be playing, but in a situation like this where you got a team that's come 6 or 7 hours, they're trying to get games played in, he might have been a spot filler for the Oysters. Of course, they've been a regular here at the Firecracker. Called strike 3 on Williams. Takes the 2-2 right down the middle. That's the first strikeout for Zach Hall. Williams not aggressive in that at bat at all. Sets it over to Maddox Olivas, the catcher, batting .471. Batting in that 7 spot. Trying to move Wyatt Murray from over at first base in a 2-0 game. As the blue wood bat over the top of the right shoulder. He's the one wearing the wrong jersey, brought the wrong top today. Supposed to wear your golds and brought the black one. Does have the gold numbers, so I guess he's got a little bit of yellow there on the uni. 1-0 delivery after the first one missed. Hall finds the zone, spoiled foul, out of play. 1-1, the count goes. Good crowd on hand. This is game number 3 from here at Powers today. Another full day of baseball from Powers and Pioneer Park tomorrow as they wrap up pool play tomorrow. Called strike. Count goes to 1-2 on Olivas. Tomorrow night, Sixers take on the Casper Oilers, scheduled for 6 p.m. Then pool play, I believe 10, noon, and 2:30, the scheduled times for pool play action. Sixers finish with the top seed. And again, all this I'm not 100% sure on, but I believe they would play the 2 seed from the other pool in the 10 a.m. game if they win the 1 seed. This ball chopped towards second, could be 2. Coates goes to second for 1. Bobble over there by Crecilius on the exchange. So just a 6-4 fielder's choice. Murray gets cut down on his way to second. Olivius over to first base as Mason McCormick will have the baton handed to him. Right fielder batting .214 this season. Had a miscue in the outfield, an error charged to him. McCormick, another right-handed batter for the Oysters. They've got a good mix on this roster in this lineup of lefties and righties. Don't necessarily let you go through just seeing the same side. A lot of times in Legion ball, you'll end up seeing very heavy right-handed lineups. Down in Omaha, I think it was Creighton Prep that we saw there last year. Not sure on the team that Creighton Prep brought this year, but they're one of those teams that was loaded with lefties that just finds all the lefties that you can get to pile them up. But a good mix for the Oysters. This pitch misses. Count goes to 1-1. Julian Perez waits in the on-deck circle, number 9 batter in the order for the Oysters. Trying to find a way to come back from down 2-0 early on in this one after the Sixers scraped across 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 walks, and an error in the bottom of the first inning. Pickoff over to first has Levy's diving back. Courtesy runner. That is Miller over there. Just realized the jersey being switched out. There is a yellow jersey down, not a black jersey over there. As this ball served out into center, that's a single to keep the inning going. First hit for the Rocky Mountain Oysters goes to Mason McCormick. Runners now on first and second. Something brewing here with the bottom of the order. Julian Perez, who is batting .333 from the 9 spot, will step in. Another right-handed batter playing over at second base today for the Oysters. Trying to flip the lineup over, get George Roberts a chance. And keep Hall out there on the mound for a little bit longer. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball that twists across the zone and ends up in the left-handed batter's box. 0-1 count after the swing. Sets at the belt, does Zach. Strides to the plate. That one chopped up the middle. Coates flips over to Crecelius, and a 6-4 putout will close that one out. On the fielder's choice, Oysters threaten, but only can scrape across a couple of runners. Nobody comes over the plate. We move along to the bottom of the second inning. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Your home deserves the very best, that's what we give to you. When it comes to vinyl windows, no need to be confused. We manufacture in Wyoming, build them all right here. 'Cause we know the climate, suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows.
At First Tier Bank, we strive to keep it simple. We offer great rates on a variety of CDs, and we don't make you open other accounts, or be a new customer, or use your debit card 12 times a month, or have a direct deposit to get them. We leave that nonsense to the new big green bank in town, or some colorful credit union. At First Tier, we simply invite you to come on in and call either of our 2 Cheyenne locations and get a great rate on a CD that fits your needs. Simple, the way it should be. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, or 18th and Cary in downtown Cheyenne. Member FDIC.
Welcome back out to Powers Field. Overcast day here in the city of Cheyenne. There's one correction. Tomorrow's nightcap game won't necessarily be a nightcap game. 4 p.m. start for the Sixers game against the Casper Oilers here at Powers Field. As we'll be here for that game as well. Action here. Sixers setting up 9-1-2. Kyler Hoff was the only man in the Sixers order not to bat in the first inning. .265 hitter playing third base today for Post 6. Steps into the right-handed batter's box, trying to add to a 2-0 lead. Takes the first pitch that misses from Corey Williams. And the count goes to 1-0. To the hot corner man. 8 RBIs, 12 runs scored for Hoff this year. Kyler's been sharing time over at third with Quentin King as that pitch catches the zone for a strike. Colin Crecelius as well has been playing some time over there. Over at first base, he's been swapping out time with Landon McAnally as well, so he's working on really establishing himself as one of the Sixers' corner infielders. It's been very impressive at both positions too, I might add. Although first base seems to be the one that the team leans towards using him a little bit more for. Swing and a miss on the 1-2. Hoff is the second strikeout victim by Corey Williams. Back-to-backs going back to Pearson, who struck out to close out the first inning. Cade Coates will slide up to the plate. First pitch he saw, he sent out into right field. Came around to score after Broden Robbins sacrificed him to second base, and then Nolan Porton would hit a ground ball through the gap between first and second, and Coates was able to hustle his way up to the plate to give the Sixers their early lead in this one. Now trying to work with one away, takes the first pitch low below the knees for a ball. as the count settles to 1-0 on the shortstop for the Sixers. Made a really impressive throw across the diamond in the first inning on a 6-3 putout, cutting down Jack Reed. This pitch bounces away, and the count goes to 2-0. Williams struggling to get ahead of batters in this game since that first 3 or 4 that he faced in the game. In fact, I think he's seen a first pitch strike to only 6 of the first 10. Finds a first pitch strike, or finds a strike to Coates here and moves the count to 2-1. Gets himself back into it. See how aggressive Coates is here on this pitch to the plate. Williams working efficiently and quickly. Spoiled foul by Coates on a high fastball. 2-2 count, 1 out. Bottom of the second inning, and a 2-0 score in favor of Post 6. Final game of the day here from Powers Field. See one of the storm fronts moving its way by. Clear skies back behind. Opening up. Williams misses with the 3-2. Wind and fire by Williams. Payoff pitch. That's smoked over to right. That finds the hole. Ground ball with some eyes. Ends up getting Coates on base. 2 for 2 on the day. Third hit for the Sixers on the day. All of them been singles, but just pesky putting somebody on there, and a good job by Coates getting protective with that swing. Williams has a dynamic fastball, but also will drop the off-speed stuff on you on a 2-strike count, and was ready to defend on that one. Held the swing back and just pushed it to the right side. Puts a runner on for the Sixers and sets up Broden Robbins, who had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Executed it well. This time gets the chance to cut away. Takes the first pitch strike up in the zone. Williams gets himself ahead. See how fast the Sixers get anyone into motion. We're talking about that in the pregame show with Coach Barker, and he said that's something that this team really thrives when they get that activity on the base paths going. Whether it's a small ball or the bunts or trying to steal bases, that pitch called a strike, and the count goes to 0-2. Somehow pulled back into the zone by Olivas. But getting the base paths working, so critical for the Sixers. Coates gets off to his lead, 0-2 count. As Williams to Robbins, that's just off the outside corner, close to the same spot that he just got called a strike, but that one not quite what the umpire had in mind for a called strike. 1-2 count with 1 away. Coates continuing out to that slow crawling lead over there. Doesn't take off on this pitch, and the count goes to 2-2. You did see earlier in the first inning, this might be playing a little bit into this, when Colin Crecilius moved up to second base, that was a very good throw by Olivas, even though it was a full count walk. Olivas was on the money with his throw down to second. That might be something the coaching staff is taking into account, as this 3-2 pitch or 2-2 pitch swung on and missed by Broden Robbins, and Williams picks up his third strikeout of the game, second of the inning, and it's up to Nolan Horton to try and bring something into a gap to get Cade Coates around from first. 2 away now, and the Oysters looking to put up a 0. They could use one in a big way as they find themselves down 2-0 already. Don't want to give the Sixers, a team that's already potent offensively, more opportunities. Runner goes, pitches away. Coates sees it get away from the catcher. He's thinking about scooting up to third. Throw goes back to second instead and chases Coates back to the base. Wild pitch has the Sixers in scoring position, and Nolan Horton in a good hitter's count. Deja vu to the first inning, except for the fact there's 2 outs instead of 1 out. Nolan Horton singled to the right side that time. Oysters giving him another big hole to that right side. And is holding on the runner. And is the second baseman, Julian Perez. First pitch was a ball. Second one called a strike as Williams gets back into the zone. 1-1 with 2 away. On a overcast day in Cheyenne. Calm day as well. The wind has gone away for the time being. Flag hanging limply as this ball poked over to right in the air and has enough carry to get outside of the reach of James Bivens over at first. 1-2, excuse me, the count now on Nolan Horton. So 1-2. Williams a strike away from getting out of the inning with a 0 for the first time and stranding a 1-out single on the base paths. Peeks back behind him, fires to the plate, called strike 3, down the barrel it goes, and the Sixers are struck out in the side, and not in order, but all 3 outs via the punch out for Williams to send us to the top of the 3rd inning. 2-0, Sixers on top. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Since 1986, here's a list of cars and SUVs I have purchased or leased for myself or my family from our local dealers here in Cheyenne. Kia Optima, Sorento, K5, 2 Chevy Blazers, Honda CR-V and 3 Pilots, Aztec, Villager, Trans Am, Pontiac GT, and Grand Am. What do all these vehicles have in common? Well, for service work, even if it was just a simple oil change, they were taken care of by Shine Auto Repair and Service. Larry Proati for Cars in Cheyenne, where John and his great team has always been there to take care of the Proati vehicles, and yours too. John is a TechNet professional, which means he is one of the best in the country to service your car or truck. Make sure your maintenance or minor repair doesn't turn into a major problem. Call Shine Auto Repair and Service today to set up an appointment at 632-0498 or stop in at 604 West Lincoln Way. Shine Auto Repair and Service open Monday through Friday and taking care of your vehicle's needs for over 30 years.
Sixers sending Zach Hall back out onto the mound as he's going to face off against 1, 2, and 3 in the order. George Roberts, Jack Reed, and James Bivens. Still a 2-0 game on the Pepsi scoreboard. Hall picked up his first punch out of the game against Corey Williams in the first inning, or in the last inning out there, and got some ground balls to get him out of it. A couple of fielders' choices. He's been keeping the ball on the ground so far for the most part. I think everything's been a ground ball. George Roberts, the only fly ball, and that was the first one of the game as he steps in to the right-handed batter's box and cuts at a off-speed pitch up in the zone. Fooled by it, and the count goes to 0-1. He thought that one wasn't going to drop back down and in, and ended up seeing it do just that. 0-1 count. Hall will return into the windup. He misses downstairs, moves the count to 1-1. Hall mostly a starter, 9 of his now 13 appearances, 10 of his now 13 appearances, I should say now, starts for him. Go back into his last appearance for the Sixers. It was called strike, moves the count to 1-2 on George Roberts. Last appearance for Hall came back on the 24th against Premier West, went 3 innings in that one while picking up the win. Only gave up 1 hit in that game. Struck out 3 in those 3 innings of work. He works in the 3rd inning here. That one just misses. Draws some groans from the crowd as the count goes to 2-2. Longest appearance so far on the season was actually the first game of the season for Zach Hall. Went 6 innings against the Hawks. Faced off against 21 batters in that game as this ball fouled off. Roberts staying alive for another pitch. Picked up the win in that contest as well, as he did not give up any runs to the Hawks. Struck out 3 in that 6-inning appearance. He's gone 4 innings twice this year. For the most part, gets to that 3rd inning, and that's about where you expect him. Gets a called strike here. George Roberts goes down, second punch out, both of them looking to Zach Hall, and Jack Reed will come up with 1 out. Nobody on base in the top of the 3rd, and the Oysters trailing by a pair of runs on the Pepsi scoreboard. Another right-handed batter playing out at short, grounded out to his counterpart in the 1st inning on a play that Coates made deep in the hole. backhanded a ball and was able to fire over to McAnally at first. This time he'll shorten things up for everybody. Just rolls the ball up the first base line to McAnally, who takes it to the base, and that's out number 2. James Bivens will step up to the plate. Big first baseman. He's walked his first time up on 4 pitches. Right-hander will try to make some noise and searching for just his second hit of the season. As the plain wood bat, as he rests it on his right shoulder, Hall goes into the windup looking to finish off what has been an extremely efficient inning. As the rain begins to fall here at Powers Field as well. I mentioned there was a rainstorm possibly coming through. No lightning, but definitely dropping down some big old drops right now, and just one of those summer showers that flashes through the area. Called strike to Bivens. Doesn't dry up the ability of finding the strike zone from Zach Hall right now. He's on a heater. Guiding the ball in right where he wants it. Looking for a quick inning once again. Trying to go 1, 2, 3 for the first time. Another called strike as he drops the curveball in right at the knees. Great delivery on that pitch. As Hall trying to get out of it. 1-2 delivery. Rope to second and past Crecelius. That one sizzling on its way out there. And that's a first hit for Bivens, second hit for the Oysters, and extends the inning to John Luke Houston. So he'll step into the batter's box, right-hander. First time he was up, ended up grounding a ball back to Zach Hall, who was quick about making his action work. Pitch outside misses. Snap throw to first. Nearly got Bivens leaning a little bit. This count goes to 1-0 on Houston. He was the first pitch swinging out his first time up. This one taken inside for a ball as well. 2-0 the count. First time that we've seen Hall fall behind a batter this much since the 4-pitch walk that he surrendered to Bivens in the first inning. Ball bounces up to the plate. Now 3-0 the count to Houston. Right-hander twitches that back elbow as he looks out to the ball. Delivery in from Hall finds the zone, so he extends it on the get me over. And sprinkle came out of nowhere, but it follows along suit. There's a long line of clouds that's been kind of making its way overhead. Runner takes off, pitch swung on and missed. Throw down is going to be bobbled by Crecelius. Couldn't quite reel it in. Might have actually cut down Bivens as the throw was on the money. The good news for the Sixers, though, now 3-2. Full count. You've worked your way back from 3-0, and you got a chance to get out of this one with one more pitch. Hall trying to close down another shutdown inning against the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Looking for 3 zeros through 3 innings. Gets a slow roller right back to him on the mound. Leaps up in the air, pulls it in, and for the second time, John Luke can't get it past the glove of Zach Hall. We move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows. Your home deserves the very best, that's what we give to you. When it comes to vinyl windows, no need to be confused. We manufacture in Wyoming, build them all right here. 'Cause we know the climate, suddenly it's all so clear with Gill Windows.
When you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And there's no one that knows that feeling like Cheyenne Allstate agent Jason Gilbert, because he works every day to get people like you the coverage they need with the savings they deserve. Contact him for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Welcome back out to Powers Field. Zach Hall putting together a good game so far. He's seen 13 batters and ended up putting most of them down through 3 innings. The Sixers, 2.5 innings. The Sixers leading 2-0. As they will try to get to Corey Williams again. Landon McAnally, Colin Crecilius, and Braden Cameron. All 3 reached base. None of them had a hit. 2 walks and an error for the Sixers against Corey Williams. That ended up getting the bases loaded for him, but they could not crack through with that. As Asher Newland and Braden Pearson popped out and struck out to finish off the first inning, and the Sixers left some runs waiting for him out there. We'll see if time number 2 around sets things up for that bottom third of the order any better. McAnally to the plate. Left-hander walked his first time up on 4 pitches. They were trying to jam him inside, not let him get extended. And he came a bit too tight inside every time. As Williams steps back up on to the mound and will peer in. It's into his windup, and the opening pitch to the bottom of the third, a called strike to McAnally as he sees the first one of those all game long. Sun's poked its way back out. It's gotten a bit muggy out there, though. The humidity definitely spiked up after that little brief rainstorm, especially out there on the turf, I'm sure. As this ball bounces up, Williams can't find the strike zone, and the count goes to 1-1 to the leadoff man for the Sixers. Bottom of the third inning, about an hour into this one. Got us started at 5:33, just a little bit after the bottom of the hour. As that pitch misses, and the count goes to 2-1 to McAnally. Sixers offense came to play yesterday, scored 25 runs in 2 games against some pretty good programs. Had an 8-run inning, a 7-run inning, a 6-run inning. As this pitch misses, count goes to 3-1. 2 4-run innings. They were impressive out there on the field. Were the Sixers yesterday, jumping all over teams. Didn't quite run rule catalyst, but put them into a tough situation. This ball hit sharply by McAnally over to short. Up with it is Jack Reed, and the play is made for out number 1. Colin Crecilius reached on an error his first time up. It was made by Corey Williams trying to throw over to first. Bounced one on the way over to James Bivens and ended up seeing it get called for the error there, as wasn't going to end up beating him out down the line. Williams peering underneath the hat brim. Misses with the first pitch to Crecilius, and the count goes to 1-0. 1 away, bottom of the third inning, 2-0 on the Pepsi scoreboard. Good crowd on hand for this one to close out the 4th of July holiday. Fireworks coming up tonight as well. It's called strike, a breaking ball into the zone on Crecilius, evens the count at 1. If you're doing some fireworks play yourself tonight, be safe. Have fun. And enjoy all of the wonderfulness that the holiday weekend to celebrate freedom brings you, and with you and your family. If it means coming out and checking out some baseball here, still got time to come out to the park and support the Sixers. Also, make sure, again, tomorrow, another full slate of games here at Powers Field. This ball shot towards shortstop. Reed, long way back into the hole. Crecilius, though, not fast enough for a cannon of an arm from Reed as he cuts down the speedy second baseman for the Sixers. Crecilius was booking it down that line, too, just couldn't quite make it. Braden Cameron stepping to the plate, and he walked his first time up. Ended up being left over at first base. Still batting .253 on the season as he steps into that right-handed box. Had a long at-bat his first time up. Took 8 pitches for him to earn the walk against Williams. And takes the first pitch for a strike. Corey definitely seems like he's found that groove out there on the mound. You got to remember, it's taken him some time to get back into pitching. He has not pitched at all this season. So this is first time out there onto the mound, and that can take you a little bit to find that consistency, find that arm slot. So he misses with that pitch there and bounces one up. 1-1 count with 2 away, trying for his first 1-2-3 inning. Nearly got the side in order in the second, struck out the side around a single. Misses here. This time not getting in with the strikeouts, but it's been the ground balls to his shortstop, a pair of them in the inning so far. That's been the position. That's been the hottest so far today between both teams. As that pitch inside, Camerad bailing out of it early. Tried to come back into the middle of the zone. Looked like it had some cut to it, but Williams couldn't guide it back in, and Camerad gets up 3-1 in the count. Good chance to extend the inning and get Asher Newland in at bat. Number 7 batter in the order on deck. That's got another way to get him up. That one served out to left. I thought that one was going to get down. Had more carry on it than I thought, and a fly ball to left is going to set Camerad back to the dugout and end the third inning for the Sixers. They still are in command, though. They lead this one by a score of 2-0 on the Pepsi scoreboard when we return for the fourth inning. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Rock on Wheels is Wyoming's premier bicycle shop. The service department offers quality and experience with a 48-hour turnaround guarantee based on parts and availability. They even offer tune-ups for your current bike along with powder coating and sandblasting. So swing by the shop and take advantage of the awesome prices for great bikes like Trek and many other name brands. Rock on Wheels even offers bike rentals for the avid rider. They're proud to be locally owned and operated. You'll find Rock on Wheels at 900 East Lincoln Way. Call 637-0020 to start pedaling your way to a whole bunch of fun.
Zach Hall returning out to the mound for a fourth inning of work. And this match is about how far he typically goes in games. Good spot pitch count-wise for him, though. Just 48 pitches through the first 3 innings of work. Wyatt Murray, Corey Williams, and Maddox Salivas will be the scheduled batters. Fielder's choice, a strikeout and a walk between the 3 of them. It was Wyatt Murray who got on, then he was cut down on a fielder's choice later on. So he wasn't able to do much on that drive as the 278 hitter Wyatt Murray, playing out in left field, will stride up to the right-handed batter's box. Sun beaming back down as that storm front made its way through, and the day is once again cleared out. In fact, the concrete down on the bleachers around the edge of the stadium is already dried off again. That tells you how brief that rainstorm was. Didn't really leave a whole lot. Just muggied things up a bit. This ball hacked towards shortstop. Coates comes on, makes the play. Sidearm throw on the money to McAnally. And 1 pitch, 1 out. Zach Hall able to roll through 3 1/3 now of scoreless ball. Corey Williams, who struck out looking his first time up, steps into the left-handed batter's box. Williams trying to be patient in that at-bat. Found himself behind 1-2, brought it back to 2-2, and then a pitch that was near where the first pitch was on the outside corner. Ended up catching it again, and that would give Williams a trip for 1 back to the dugout. Left-hander looks out to Hall, and he'll wind and miss outside. The count goes to 1-0. Hall, for the most part, has been staying ahead of batters and working from up in front. Typically, when he's lost the zone, he's ended up losing the batter on that first pitch. Called strike here on 1-0, moves it to 1-1. The other nice thing for Hall, he's had 2 batters go out on the first pitch. This one misses up and away to Corey Williams, trying to work the count. Not only that, he's also had another 2 batters roll out on the second pitch and 2 more on the third pitch. So he's been efficient with some of these outs. Gets a fastball blown by Williams, 2-2. Williams loaded up for it, got the hitter's count, but wasn't quite ready for the velocity that Hall was able to bring. So the 2-2, Hall trying to set down Williams for a second time. Just a piece of it for Williams, keeps alive. Stays at 2-2 for 1 more. That was the pitch that Williams didn't cut at the first time when he was out there on the field of play. 2-2 once again. Working from the first base side. Hall just can't find the inside corner. That brought some gasps from the folks around. We'll see if 3-2 brings a different result. And it will. Outside corner, and Corey Williams knew it. For the second time, he's too patient. And Zach Hall picks up his third punch out of the game. All three punch outs have been looking for Zach Hall today, too, as he is dialing it up when he needs to in those 2 strike counts, particularly when it's late in those 2 strikes, as all of the strikeouts looking have come on 2-2 counts, or in this last case, the full count to Corey Williams. Olivas will step up to the plate, grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up, and this time takes a huge rip at a fastball up and away and ends up chasing it and getting nothing. Judge Schmalls would be proud of that one. Wind from Hall. He fires another one past, and Hall saying, "You will get nothing and like it." 2 strikes, no balls, and 2 outs up onto the scoreboard as the Sixers trying to take a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the 4th. Hall winds, fires, lifted out to right field. That one is smoked, and all the way back to the fence at 1 hops. Up to second base goes Olivas with a 2-out double. That was the loudest hit of the game so far for either team. That one with a little bit of wind behind it probably ends up making its way out of the yard. But the wind right now hanging with nothing aiding anybody out there. We'll have that courtesy runner head back out onto the field for the Oysters, excuse me. That is Dylan Miller. It'll be up to Mason McCormick to try and bring home the first run for the Oysters. He did single his first time up, the right fielder. Took a 1-1 pitch and sent it to left field over the outstretched glove of several Sixers. Swings and misses at the first pitch and falls behind to the count 0-1. Another efficient inning for Hall. He's just thrown his 12th pitch of the inning. Sets at the belt once again, takes a deep breath. Double checks. And misses low and away as he tried to get the chase on the 0-1. Sixers will be sending up 7, 8, and 9 in their order in the bottom of the 4th inning. Again, trying to add a few more insurance runs on top of a 2-0 lead they already hold. Trying to move to 3-0 in bracket play. 3-0 basically guarantees you a spot on Sunday if you can end up coming away with the win in this game. Count goes to 2-1. 2-2 leaves you kind of waiting on results from other teams. So you'd love to secure yourself and go into that game against Casper knowing that you're playing for the 1 or the 2. You're playing for a time slot. You're not playing for a spot at all. 2-2. Going against a Casper team that so far here at the gets a swing and a miss to get him out. We'll talk more about the bracket as it stands and kind of where things are starting to set up when we come back. Sixers, though, find themselves up 2-0 as Hall, 4 innings of scoreless ball against the Rocky Mountain Oysters. We return to Powers Field on 1480 K-Ray right after this.
I always get a kick when I see ads for a huge vault of silver they found, or they get their gold from a certain company. Hi, this is Larry Perotti for the Coin Shop in downtown Cheyenne. Family owned and operated since 1982. You can buy and sell your gold or silver, along with other precious metals, including palladium and platinum, at the Coin Shop each Tuesday through Friday. You'll always get top dollar for your gold or silver, as David Brockman has his eye on the precious metals market each day. So stop on by for a fair and honest appraisal of your precious metals, or give David a call and set up a time to stop by. You'll always find coin collections, collectible coins, proof and mini sets, and more today. So why wait for the others? Shop the Coin Shop in historic downtown Cheyenne at 510 West 16th Street, open Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. or give them a call at 778-7196.
Sixers up 2-0 as we move to the top or bottom of the fourth inning, trying to move themselves into Sunday's affairs. As back out onto the mound, Corey Williams will return. Again, facing off Newland, Pearson, and Hoff, 7, 8, and 9. Group that is 0 for 3 on the days or on the tournament so far. Have not quite found their rhythm quite yet on the day out there. By the way, we're talking about the Oilers. Oilers currently sitting at 1-0 in pool play right now. They were able to take down the Lampkins 12-6 in their first game. But right now, how about the Hawks? 8-0. The Hawks up on top of Casper right now. That is not a score that I was expecting to see after the Oilers ended up taking down the Lambkins in the first game 12-6. Good on the Hawks, though. They're having a really good tournament in this one. That'll move them to 2-1 if they can keep that 8-0 lead intact. Swing and a miss on the 0-1 to Asher Newland. He's behind 0-2 in the count. Actually, I apologize. I had that wrong. It's actually 8-0 Casper now that I pick on it. They had it listed. I'm still learning how to read Game Changer every once in a while. So scratch that. Casper looking to move to 2-0 in pool play on their side. That pitch misses to Newland. The count goes 1-2. Hawks still do have a win under their belt. They got the win against the Oysters. So they're 1-2, and it'll come down to one final game for them tomorrow as well. 1-2. That ball kicks away, moves the count to 2-2. Hawks have their last game against the Laramie Rangers tomorrow at 1:30. They've actually already had some success against Laramie. This ball shot to short. Reed, long throw again, shows off the arm. What a cannon he has been displaying over there at shortstop. That's too deep in the hole that he's been able to make a throw on that not many high school kids would be able to make the out on with some decent speed going down the line too in Newland. Braden Pearson 0 for 1 today. Struck out looking his first at-bat. That ended the first inning of work. Right-handed batter will look out to Williams and chases the first pitch that catches the outside corner and misses, or catches the outside corner and moves it to 0-1 on the swing and a miss. Williams, 62 pitches so far. This ball fouled off to the right side. Count goes to 0-2. Can really tell Williams, once he's settled into the groove, really becoming more of the pitcher that I think a lot of folks here at the stadium recognize. He's retired 6 straight and a strike away from retiring 7 straight. That one fouled off as well. In fact, if you go back to the walk by Braden Camerad that wrapped up 5 of the first 6 getting on base, 1 of the next 11, or 10 rather, the 11th up at the plate right now, have gotten on base. 9 out of 10 that Williams has been able to set down. Nearly gets Pearson there. Another foul ball, just fights it off of the inside. Good battle right now by Pearson at the plate. Going to try and snap a little bit of a skid that he's been on. Oh, 2 delivery again. Tried to get him to chase something up in the zone. Pearson able to lay off of that delivery. Trying to extend the inning with 1 away in the bottom of the 4th and get something going for the Sixers to flip the lineup over. Top of the order's had success. Coates, in fact, in the number 1 spot as that pitch bounces up, moves the count to 2-2. Coates is 2 for 2. He's got a couple singles in the top of the order, so if you can get him somebody on ahead of him, Good chance for him to maybe bring somebody around. He's swinging the bat well today. 2-2 from Williams. Pearson strides and takes that one at the top of the zone. Second time that he's gone down looking. That's 5 punch-outs for Corey Williams in the game. First punch-out since he struck out all 3 batters, or got all 3 outs via punch-out in the second inning. Kyler Hoff trying to avoid another 1-2-3 inning, steps in. 265 hitter, struck out swinging his first time up, leading off the second inning. Swings and misses at the first pitch he sees here. 1-2 count was when he swung and missed on that first one, so trying to fight from behind once again. Slightly closed stance for Kyler at the plate. Chops that one foul, just able to catch a piece of it as the count settles to 0-2. Sixers trying to get a 2-out rally going in the bottom of the fourth. Trying to build on a 2-0 lead that they've got over the Oysters, who just haven't been able to get a whole lot going offensively. Hoff lifts this one shallow right field. That's a long run. And over the shoulder of the second baseman, Julian Perez, it drops for a single. That one just kind of found the Bermuda Triangle out there and dropped into no man's land. Keeps the inning going for the Sixers. You take it, and as I said, top of the order has been having some good success. Coates 2 for 2, trying to keep that alive. He can find a gap. Kyler Hoff, off on contact, might be able to come around. Bounder to third, tough play, but it rolls foul anyways. That was probably going to be one of those that Coates beats out for a single, as he was halfway down the first base line, and you still didn't end up seeing Houston ending up getting to that ball. Good placement for it, but just drifted a little bit foul as Coates peers over to Gary Harley in the third base box. Gets the signs and settles into the right-handed box. 0-1 count with 2 away. Bottom of the fourth inning. Third game of the weekend for Post 6. Upstairs pitch misses and the count goes to 1-1. Williams pitch count wise starting to see his get elevated a bit more. Long inning in this one. 17 pitches in this inning has him up to 73 on the game. 1-1. Floated foul as the count goes to 1-2 on Cade Coates. He's battled before, though, worked a full count in his last at-bat in the second inning when he got that single. Long at-bats in this one, though. For Corey Williams, he's seen 5 3-ball counts in this game so far. He's gone full twice. That one misses outside all the way up to second base. Is going to go Kyler Hoff as the pitch gets to the backstop on a wild pitch. And Coates at 2-2 has the opportunity now to drive him in with a single. Haven't scored since back in the first inning if you're the Sixers, looking to stack another one on. 4 hits in the game already. A 5th would be big. Williams settles again at the belt. Feet pressed together up there on the mound on the third base side, strides to the plate and misses, and for a second time, Coates has worked the count full. Doing just what the doctor orders there from that top of the order. Right-hander gets another chance. Payoff, floated to right field. That one's going to touch down in fair territory for a knock. Coates wide turn to second. Throw goes to second. And scoring easily is Kyler Hoff with the third run of the game. RBI single for Cade Coates, who's now 3 for 3. Just doing an efficient job of hitting up at the plate. And sets up Broden Robbins, who's 0 for 1. Sacrifice bunt and a strikeout, but they might not be facing Corey Williams. Pitching change, looking like this one might be coming, or this could just be a conversation. knowing that you're getting into the heart of the order out there on the mound. You've given up back-to-back singles. Whole infield's being brought in right now, though. Home plate umpire heading over to the shade. Not sure if he's going to grab some water or if he's going to talk with the umpires. Nope, grabbing some baseballs as his. So just a mound meeting on this one. And no change coming up yet for Williams out there on the mound. Sets things up for Broden Robbins. Robbins, as I said, struck out his last time up on 5 pitches, was able to battle to a 2-2 count, but was one of 3 strikeouts in that inning for Corey Williams when he got into that groove and started mowing people down. Now the Sixers starting to return the favor, lighting up that scoreboard hits column a bit, now wanting to add a few more runs to it. 3-0 Sixers lead. Bottom of the 4th on the Pepsi scoreboard as Robbins checks his swing and gets ahead 1-0. Robbins, more of a run scorer than an RBI man this season for the Sixers. 30 runs, 16 RBIs. But his bat's starting to wake up more and more as the season has gone on. One of the better batting averages on the team. Runner takes off, throw down to second base, not in time as Coates hustles his way in for his first stolen base. Pitch was swung on and missed as the count goes to 1-1. Coates, with that speed that he's got, all he needs a single. Once again, don't even really got to hit it that hard as he'll be off with the contact. And off on the sound. Pitch from Williams inside. Robbins steps out of the way of that one, just avoids getting plunked. Count goes to 2-1. Sixers putting together another 2-out rally. First one of this game, but they had a couple of them yesterday. Called strike brings the count back to 2-2 as Williams not wanting to surrender that yet. 25 pitches in the inning has him bordering on 90 in this game. So he is getting towards the end of that leash, you got to think. But trying to get to the dugout with it intact, and he does. Still has his hold on this one, gets his 6th punch out of the game as Robbins swings and misses at a low strike, and the Sixers are held to just 1 run, but they lead it 3-0. We come back to the top of the 5th inning. Sixers and Zach Hall in command. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball from Powers Field on 1480 K-Ray.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes! Let's go!
That's you taking another sip of your
Mountain Dew.
Do the Do.
Welcome back out to Powers Field. Caleb Berggraf here on 1480 K-Ray as the Sixers currently in front, trying to give themselves a victory in this one and move to 3-0 in the standings on the tournament as it stands. Checking things out on how things are sitting on the other side of the standings. Fort Collins and Casper sitting at 2-0 in the other bracket, in the other pool. This pitch misses inside to Julian Perez. Count goes to 1-0 to the leadoff man for the Oysters. 9-1-2 due up. Perez, a couple of ground outs to short. Both of them turned into fielder's choices. Or excuse me, ground out to short on his first one. Called strike, moves it to 1-1. And his second at bat of the game. Swing and a miss. 1-2. So the Hawks are sitting at 1-2. Oilers and LB Collins both sitting at 2-0. They're playing each other right now with Lampkin sitting up 2-1 in that game over there. This ball shot towards short again. Coach deep into the hole. It was hard hit, and the throw across the diamond on the point. Tell you what, both of these shortstops have been putting on a display between Jack Reed and Cade Coates. The shortstop position has been nailed down by both of them and has been very, very impressively played. By the way, the final, looking again, a few more of the numbers coming from the contests over here as we continue to go over the standings of this tournament so far in pool play. Swing and a miss. Roberts finds himself behind the count 0-1. There's a wine and a fire inside and low. That one misses, and the count goes to 1-1 with one away. One more delivery from Hall on the 1-1. That one misses a little bit low as well, and 2-1. Good job by Roberts, kind of guiding himself back into the start of this one. It's a pitch swung on and missed. Count to 2-2. So another stride into that right-handed box. And a 2-2 pitch, trying for his second out of this inning. Looking to keep his stretch of clean play going, and he does. Striking him out. 5 punch-outs now for Zach Hall as he's through 4 2/3. Jack Reed up to the plate, 0 for 2 today. Zach Hall seeming to be growing in confidence as well as things progress across this set of contests. Swing and a miss as the count goes to 0-1. Oysters, you can tell, are starting to press a little bit. They're starting to get into a point where they know they've got to start putting up some runs in a hurry if they want to have a way to get back into this game, especially when you go back to the talking that this is a wood bat tournament. You don't necessarily get the extra boost that you get from the metal bats. This delivery inside and misses. And the count goes to 1-2. That one plunked. Hit by pitch on a 1-2. Not what you wanted to see from Hall. Puts a runner on. As the Oysters bring up one of their big bats, James Bivens, who's 1 for 1 today, has reached base twice, singled and also walked. He's been left at second base after he got a stolen base, but hasn't gotten anywhere past that. See if he can start a 2-out rally after the hit by pitch. All, by the way, still in a good spot pitch count-wise, just 77 pitches so far through 5 innings of work. Sixers, nobody active down in the bullpen at this moment. So this is his inning to get through, and you got to think with where he's at, if he can get through this inning cleanly, I think he'd be the guy to come out for the 6th inning of work as well. Be nice to save a few extra arms going into tomorrow against Casper. Set on the belt. Swing and a foul tip. Count goes to 0-2 on Bivens. Just about out of this one. Check to the runner. Hall, swing and a miss. 2 punch-outs in the inning, 6 in the game, and 5 consecutive zeros put up onto the board by Zach Hall as the Sixers take a 3-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Your home is where memories are made, so why not make it a place you truly love? With a home equity loan, you can update your space, improve your curb appeal, or finally finish that home project you've been putting off. Competitive rates, flexible options, and simple approval make it easy to get started. Make the equity in your home work for you and love where you live. Apply today at pvbank.com. Platte Valley Bank, you belong here.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At Fat Boys Tire and Auto, our business is about more than just selling tires and fixing cars. We believe in faith, family, and community. The Fat Boys family has been serving Wyoming and Nebraska for over 50 years, and 3 generations later, our values have never changed. When you need tires or auto repairs, find the Fat Boys, and we'll treat you like family. Fat Boys Tire and Auto in Cheyenne, Laramie, Scottsbluff, and Wheatland. Get price quotes and schedule service at Fat Boys.
Sixers in control as we welcome you back out to the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-0. They're in charge over the top of the Rocky Mountain Oysters. Taking a look at the way the tournament has fared so far. Again, these standings unofficial so far. Only 3 undefeated teams, 2 of them playing each other right now. The Oilers and the Lambkins from Fort Collins are facing off against each other. Sixers as well are undefeated. The 1-win teams sitting, Hawks at 1-2, Catalyst at 1-1, Parker at 1-2, and Laramie at 1-2. And then the Oysters sitting at 0-2 so far in the standings. They're the only team that has yet to win a game in pool play so far, and looking like that should continue, assuming that the Sixers pull out this victory. New pitcher out onto the mound for the Rocky Mountain Oysters as Corey Williams, his day comes to a close. He is not going to be inserted into the field, it looks like, as I don't see him out there on the diamond unless that's him back at shortstop. I've not seen the number flash to us of the new pitcher. It is number 19, I believe, that is thrown out there on the mound. That would be 15. So Dylan Miller, after doing the courtesy running so many times. Excuse me, this is Mason McCormick, I apologize, who is coming in and doing the pitching. So right field is now McCormick, or excuse me, McCormick comes in from right field, and Xander DeHouse will move out into right field to replace Corey Williams. Corey Williams, I'm assuming, will still swing doing the DHing. McCormick, though, out onto the mound. Right-hander, works on the first base side. Will take on the middle of the order for the Sixers and misses with his first delivery to Nolan Horton. Risky bringing in a new arm against this part of the order when Williams was still looking pretty solid out there on the mound. Had more pitches to give, too. He'd only gotten up to 82 pitches in the game, so interesting decision not to roll with him into this one, but that's why they get paid to manage, and I just get to sit up here and talk. Called strike at the top of the zone, moves it to 2-1. Sixers, again, pretty much punched their ticket into the Saturday pool play or bracket play with a victory here. That one just misses inside. Looks like if Collins can continue to hold on, the Collins Collab team can continue to hold on against the hold on, we'll make sure we get the Collins Collab team onto this one. It's 5 pitches, excuse me, for the walk to Nolan Horton as he gets his way down to first base. Collins Collab and the Oilers again sitting in a 2-1 game in the top of the second. Fort Collins Collab on top of that one, now 3-1 in that game as they move to the middle of the second. But looks like the Collins Collab going to be the 3-0 team from that side of the bracket. or Poole. Pitch missing inside to Landon McAnally. McAnally 0 for 1 today. Walked in the first inning, though, and got to third base before he was stranded there. They were unable to bring him home. Runner takes off, pitch way outside. Not a good grip on the ball, and Horton has a stolen base, second stolen base of the game for post 6 in this one. Fourth time they've moved a runner up. Fifth time, that they've moved a runner up. Sacrifice bunt, 2 stolen bases, and they've used a pair of wild pitches as well to move the runner up. But another one in scoring position with a 2-0 count to Landon McAnally. Nobody away in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sixers trying to get something started here as that one finds the zone. The count goes to 2-1. Wind picking up once again, blowing from left to right across the diamond. Nothing serious. And nothing's going to knock anybody off of their feet, but still a little bit of pressure added there. This ball popped up back behind second. This time handled much better by Julian Perez. He dropped one of those that was over the shoulder, got to his spot quicker this time, and was able to put it away. A little bit of an easier play to make. Wasn't quite as far deep into right center field, but executed well by the second baseman, and now that'll bring up the Sixers second baseman, Colin Crecelius. He's 0 for 2 today. Reached on an error, was left at second in the first inning, and then grounded out to short on another one of those amazing plays that we've seen from Jack Reed, where he has just been giving his arm plenty of opportunities to display itself. Horton moves up to third base on another stolen base. He was off on the first movement from McCormick on the mound. McCormick misses with the pitch. Count goes to 1-0. Now, if you're Crecelius, you just got to roll the ball into the field of play to bring home the speedy Horton. Crecelius looking for his 22nd RBI of the season if he can bring this one home. Pitch upstairs, misses. 2-0. Good velocity here from McCormick, but he's only been able to find the strike zone 3 times in his first 11 pitches. Finds it there. That an off-speed pitch that floats into the zone. That one I think took a lot of people by, took me by surprise even. That was a nasty curveball, and Crecelius now know that was the first time we've really seen it. Now you know he has it. Now you can prepare. 2-1. There's that same curveball, but this time stays high. And Crecelius moves it to 3-1. Good eye being played here by the second baseman. Right-hander peers out. That one inside, nearly got him. I say it will get him. Hit by a pitch, and he heads down to first base. Was going to be a walk either way, ball 4 or the hit by pitch. Braden Camerad steps up to the plate, 0 for 1 today. Flew out to left field to close out the 1-2-3 third inning by Corey Williams. He also walked his first time up. With runners on first and third, potential here for the Sixers to kind of pull into the, or go into that bag of tricks, see if they can find something that they can use to get that other run across. Or you can trust it to Camerad, who's been coming up with some clutch hits as of late. Mentioned it came up with an RBI hit in the game against Catalyst that gave them the lead. Takes a ball to get ahead in the count here. 1-0. The count goes. Bounder foul. Going off the inside shins of Camerad. Runner was off as Crecelius got another good jump on that one. Sixers have seen something in the delivery of McCormick that they realize that they can read, because they are off quickly in these last couple of appearances. Horton over at third. Crecelius off to his lead at second as Camerad steps into the batter's box. 3-0 Sixers on the Pepsi scoreboard. Leading this one from start to finish, scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and then added another insurance run in the bottom of the 4th. Now looking to piece a few more on as they've got 1 out and runners on the corners. 2-1 count, good hitters count for Camerad. Bunt poked at, and Camerad fouls that one off. It was a high bunt. He thought he was going to be able to get at it, and then jabbed at it, and it just floated high above his bat. So count goes to 2-2. Now Camarad just trying to knock the ball in play. Only thing you don't want is the double play at this point in time. You really just want to get him on. That curveball trying to pull it back into the zone. Olivas gave it a frame job, but couldn't quite pull him back in, and the count goes full 3-2. See if they send Crecilius on the full count pitch. It's off to a little bit of a bigger lead, maybe an extra half step over there at first. He will take off on first movement. Curveball misses high, and another free pass. 3 of them in the inning for the Sixers have loaded the bases up. And Asher Newland, with 1 away, steps to the batter's box. He's put the ball in play twice, but hasn't been able to get it out of the infield, really. Popped out to second and grounded out to short. The ground out to short, another one of those impressive plays that we saw, so nearly an infield single, but couldn't quite do it. And we'll have a pitching change before we can get to any of that stuff. Lacking the ability to find the strike zone. McCormick is going to get pulled in this one, so we'll have the center fielder coming in. George Roberts is going to take over on the mound as he'll take the pitching duties in a 3-0 game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Back to Powers Field after this on 1480 K-Ray.
When you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And there's no one that knows that feeling like Cheyenne Allstate agent Jason Gilbert, because he works every day to get people like you the coverage they need with the savings they deserve. Contact him for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate. At First Tier Bank, we strive to keep it simple. We offer great rates on a variety of CDs, and we don't make you open other accounts, or be a new customer, or use your debit card 12 times a month, or have a direct deposit to get them. We leave that nonsense to the new big green bank in town, or some colorful credit union. At First Tier, we simply invite you to come on in and call either of our 2 Cheyenne locations and get a great rate on a CD that fits your needs. Simple, the way it should be. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, or 18th and Cary in downtown Cheyenne. Member FDIC.
Wyoming owned and operated since 1971, Burns Insurance is Wyoming's right choice for your insurance needs. Burns Insurance is a trusted choice, full-service, independent insurance agency offering a full range of commercial, agricultural, and personal insurance products through many national and regional carriers. Let our friendly, experienced agents help you find the right product at the right price for your asset protection. Buy the policy, get the agent at Burns Insurance, your right choice. Find Burns Insurance on Facebook or at burnsia.com.
New pitcher onto the mound, the center fielder, George Roberts, coming in to do the work. Right fielder, John Luke Houston, has been moved into center field on the rotations. Still not quite sure of every one of the changes that's been made out there. We'll try and keep you updated on them as that pitch misses up and in, and Asher Newland dives out of the way. 1-0 count. Velocity from George definitely there, but we'll see if he can dial in that command. That one missing low, over adjusting, trying to find the bottom of the zone. Newland gets himself into a hitter's count. Sixers haven't scored in this inning yet. Bases loaded though. George again can't find the zone. That one misses low, and a walk brings home that first run. Also, it's early to talk about it, but it would bring up the walk-off run. Inside pitch misses again. 4 straight out of the zone. Roberts not having any more success finding the strike zone than McCormick did, and a bases loaded walk makes it 4-0 Sixers on top here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Braden Pearson, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts looking, gets up to the batter's box. You know he's going to be looking to try and put a jolt into one of these. Kyler Hoff waits in the on-deck circle, then he can flip things around. First pitch fouled off by Pearson at the plate as the count goes to 0-1. We've seen a lot of pitches as Pearson. He went 7 pitches deep in his last at-bat as that ball fouled off to the left side past Crecilius at third. 0-2 count on him. He saw 4 pitches his first at-bat, 7 pitches the second, so it's not like he's been flailing at the plate. He's been putting up quality appearances. This one inside has him flexing out of the way, and the count goes to 1-2. Trying to come up with that clutch hit that can really put this one onto the rack. Gets himself back even 2-2 in the count. Good eye on a fastball that slipped away from George. George Roberts peers in. Winds from the first base side. Misses low on that one. 3-2 the count goes. Another full count. Pearson, who struck out looking the last 2 times. We'll see if that impacts his approach here at the plate too. See if he's more protective on something near the edge. Roberts might know that. We'll see his delivery. This one on the inside corner, and for a 3rd time in 5 innings, down looking goes Braden Pearson. Just a little bit hesitant to take that cut at that inside pitch. And that's the 2nd out. And Roberts now with the number 9 batter coming up to the plate with an opportunity to escape this pickle. Hoff singled and scored his last time up, takes a pitch low for a ball and gets ahead in the count 1-0. 7th batter to come to the plate in the inning. 1's come across. 3 more sit out there on the base paths as Hoff spoils that fastball to the right side and waves that foul. Count goes to 1-1. Chopper towards shortstop. This one's going to be a tough play. Picked up by the 3rd baseman and booted by the 3rd baseman. It's been a carousel of new players out there on the field. And over at 3rd base was John Luke Houston, who has made his way back to that spot after being put into the outfield for a bit. And he can't make it. An E5 extends things. Run comes across due to the fact that there's 2 outs. It does not count as an RBI, but either way, the Sixers have now brought home another run. Another run's going to come across on a wild pitch, and the walk-off run in scoring position. As it's 6-0, post 6 on top, Kyler Hoff moves to 2nd. And again, he represents the walk-off run with a 3-for-3. Cade Coates at the plate, ahead in the count 1-0. Coates has been in fuego at the plate, looking to do more damage here. Delivery inside. That one bounces away. And back-to-back wild pitches make it 2-0, and now the walk-off run 90 feet away. And if you're George Roberts, all pressure has been put on to you. Infield was initially going to get brought in. Then the Oysters realized there's 2 outs, so they're just going to play for the out anywhere on the diamond. 2-0 delivery to Coates, bounced up as well. That one was a near mistake on a bouncer up there. Roberts has lost command. 3-0. That one bounces up, slips past the catcher. They're going to try, and nobody covered the plate, as that's going to walk it off for the Sixers. That's one of the more lethargic responses to a walk-off I've seen from a team that was getting walked off, just in the fact that really no fight from the Oysters there. 3 wild pitches walk it off for the Sixers as they take an 8-0 win in 5 innings over the Oysters. We'll be back to Powers Field to wind this one down as the Sixers move to 3-0 in pool play, 35-17 on the season with a 8-0 victory. Back in 2 minutes. You're listening to and watching Post 6 Baseball on 1480 K-Ray.
Sometimes you're anticipating it. Sometimes it's unexpected. Occasionally it's something small. But most of the time, it's a pretty big deal. It's your best day ever. And Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union is proud of the part we play in making each of them happen. Whether opening your first savings account or moving into your dream home, Meridian Trust is there for all your best days.
Knock it out of the park with your family dinner tonight and score a home run with Two Doors Down. Two Doors Down menu selections are perfect for the active family. From gourmet burgers served with bottomless fries to soups and salads to the all-new platters. Two Doors Down, where you can enjoy a great dinner and still be able to take your family out to the ball game. Two Doors Down, 118 East 17th Street. For full menu and specials, go to twodoorsdown.net. Two Doors Down, flipping great burgers since 2009.
The players return to the field. Up to bat are the Warriors. First up, number 7. There's the pitch. It's a hit, good for a single. Next, number 18. He swings, line drive to center field. 15 steps up, another hit. Bases loaded now as number 40 approaches the plate. It's headed for the fence. Grand slam, the Warriors win the game. Make it home safe. Buckle up, every passenger, every trip, every time.
Welcome back out to Powers Field as Post 6 celebrating another victory here. They take it 8-0 over the Rocky Mountain Oysters, improving to 3-0 in pool play and punching their ticket into these Sunday games no matter what. Now it's a question of just seeding when they play the Casper Oilers tomorrow. Casper Oilers looking to try and give themselves a shot at the number 1 seed from the pool as they will be facing off. They're facing off against the Collins Collab right now. And Casper's actually jumped out on top in that one, 5-3 in the top of the 3rd inning over at Pioneer Park as the Oilers looking to try and move themselves to 3-0 in bracket or pool play. Moving on that one. Sixers are 3-0 in pool play. They've run ruled 2 of the 3 teams, almost run ruled all 3 of them in this one so far. Zach Hall gets an impressive 5-inning complete game, gives up 0 runs, 21 batters faced, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 hit batter, 3 hits against him as he was very impressive out there on the diamond. As for the offense for the Sixers, Cade Coates leads the way, 3 for 3, a run, an RBI, and a walk. He ended up being at the plate when the walk-off came, and he earned a walk on that one on the wild pitch that allowed him on base. Broden Robbins goes 0 for 2, does have a sacrifice. Nolan Horton 1 for 2, 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a walk to his credit. Landon McAnally ends up going 0 for 2, does have a walk, almost scores a run in the 1st inning, but he's left at 3rd. Colin Cressilius goes 0 for 2, does score a run, though, on a hit by pitch, and he was one of the ones that scored on those wild pitches. Braden Camerad 0 for 1, but 2 walks and a run scored. Asher Newland ends up with an RBI and a walk on an 0 for 2 day. He scores a run as well. He was that RBI walk, and he ends up actually scoring the second to last run the Sixers needed. An 0 for 3 day for Braden Pearson. Tough one for him as he strikes out all 3 times. And in the end, Kyler Hoff with 2 runs scored gets the walk-off win as he is the wild pitch that ended up scoring. Goes 1 for 3 on the day to help the Sixers out to their 35th win, 35-17 on the season. Brad Barker will be back in the dugout tomorrow as his suspension is wrapped up, and he will be the man in charge to try and guide them past the Oilers when they all take to the field at 4 o'clock here at Powers Field. We'll be on air on that one, assuming things roll on schedule. We'll be jumping on air at about 3:45 here on 1480K Ray. Thanks again for joining us. Until our next broadcast, we want to say thank you to our sponsors one final time. Affordable Computer Repair, the Breadbasket Bakery, Key of Cheyenne, Capital Lumber Company, Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Frontier Days, Halliday Subaru, Wyoming's Department of Transportation, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, 2 doors down, the Burns Insurance Agency, First Tier Bank, the Gill Window Company, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, the Cheyenne Depot Museum, Jason Gilbert, your Allstate Insurance Agent, Rock on Wheels, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, Platte Valley Bank, the Coin Shop, and Pepsi of Cheyenne. For all of them, and for Larry back in studio, I'm Caleb Burgraff saying once again, thank you so much for joining us here for Sixers Baseball. We'll be back on air tomorrow to wrap up pool play from the Firecracker here on 1480K Ray.